Hi everyone, Eric on the mic. Today we're going to talk about a hidden plot twist that connects all three main parts of the GTA 3D universe: GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. It's about the character Ken Rosenberg. As you might know, he is Tommy Vercetti's lawyer, and the thing is that he appeared in GTA 3. You might think I'm crazy, right? I mean, this character firstly appears in Vice City, but how could he be in a game that came out a year earlier if GTA 3 came out in 2001 and Vice City in 2002? Now, I'll try to explain everything. Watch the video till the end to understand. Vice City takes place in 1986. Rosenberg works for Sonny Forelli, helping to organize a drug deal. After the drugs are stolen and the deal goes wrong, Ken helps Tommy with tips on finding cocaine and makes connections with various people. Eventually, the new Tommy's business thrives. After the events of Vice City, Ken Rosenberg becomes rich and begins abusing drugs, leading him to addiction. In 1990, Tommy Vercetti has a conflict with Ken over this and sends him to drug rehab in Fort Carson in San Andreas. Once cured, Rosenberg does not intend to lead an honest life and begins to work with several mafia groups at once, with the remnants of the Forelli family, where Sonny formerly was the head, with the Sindaco family and the Leone family, which is led by Salvatore. During his job there, Ken Rosenberg meets CJ, cooperates with him, and after some involvement in mafia affairs, decides to disappear quickly. Now, to make it clearer, I will present the chronology of events more briefly. In 1986, he works with Tommy in Vice City. 1990s, he works with the mob and CJ in San Andreas. In 1992, he disappears, and there is no more information about him anywhere. All right, So what's next? To understand the situation, we'll need more details about the mobs and their leaders that Ken Rosenberg dealt with. Guys, if something is unclear, don't worry, watch the video to the end. So let's take a look at the mobs. Let's start with the Vercetti family, who have a conflict with Ken. Thus, everything is quite obvious and explained here. Family is in a bad situation. First, Tommy Vercetti kills their head in the 80s, then CJ destroys everyone in the early 90s in San Andreas. In 1998, Tony Cipriani also gives them serious trouble. In 2001, Claude strikes them again, wiping out the remnants. Eventually, the Forelli family gets into a complete disaster. Now, on to the Sindaco family. In LV, they were all eliminated by CJ. Their head died of a heart attack at the time.
Damn, that nigga fucked up.
Now let's move on to the last family, the Leones. They had things going relatively smoothly until 1992, when they operated in San Andreas. After 1992, they moved to Liberty City. Their leader, Salvatore, is the same one Claude works for in GTA 3.
I'm proud of you, my boy. You kicked the shit out of those grease balls.
Why am I saying all this? You'll find out soon enough. Patience will soon be rewarded when all the puzzles come together. What else do you need to know about Ken Rosenberg from the Vice City Police archives? Ken has ties to the Liberty City Mafia, is capable of bribing or intimidating jurors, always needs a lot of money, is never satisfied, suffers from cocaine addiction and egomania. Here's the bottom line. Ken Rosenberg is no longer working with the Vercetti Mafia, the Forelli family has been destroyed, and the Sindaco family has also ceased to exist. Working with CJ will not work out, as he is unlikely to provide him with as much money as the Mafia clans. The only choice is the Leone family, which is based in Liberty City. It is important to note one key point regarding the events around this mafia. In 2001, the head of the Mafia, Salvatore Leone, was tried on charges of tax evasion for more than $450,000, which is a very serious case. How do you think it ended? Nothing, because the court found that Salvatore suffers from dyslexia, which means the inability to read normally or not being able to read at all. He ended up being given a light fine for illegally importing some minor goods. A light sentence, absolutely, but obviously the defendants on trial have experienced attorneys. In this regard, Salvatore Leone, the head of the Mafia, must have had an extremely talented lawyer capable of conducting shady schemes, dirty games, and any measures to win in court. There aren't many of such people, and even fewer who would dare to work with a Mafia family. So, who was his lawyer? It was not Ken Rosenberg. His defense was some Morris Goldberg, about whom almost nothing is unknown, neither his origin nor biography. But it was he who won the case. Perhaps you are wondering what to do next and where to go. Let's clarify the details and everything will become clearer. Pay attention to the first and last name of the lawyer Leone, as well as their meaning, Morris Goldberg. The name Morris indicates a person who tends to be constantly active and who changes little with age. A tendency to change places and an inability to appreciate stability in any form often leads to loneliness. And Ken has been known to change places of residence and job frequently, and yet he has a passion for cocaine, which gives him incredible vigor and activity. Moreover, in none of the GTA games, Rosenberg had neither a girlfriend nor a wife, and even a hint of a personal life was not observed. He always remained single. The last name Goldberg means Golden Mountain in German, and as we know, Rosenberg suffers from egomania, pathological interest in himself. He's also very greedy. By choosing the last name Goldberg, he emphasized two aspects at once: the Golden Mountain, egomania, and greed. Can you feel it?
Take it easy now.
Now let's summarize all the facts. The only mafia Ken still can maintain ties with is Salvatore Leone's mafia. The other factions have been eliminated. Ken won't work anywhere but for the mafia because he loves money and he can't get enough of it, and who else would pay big money for a dirty job? Only the mafia. In addition, police sources revealed that he was connected to the Liberty City Mafia and the Leone Mafia was located there. Third, the identity of the mysterious lawyer who prosecuted Salvatore Leone's case in court is completely consistent with the character, activities, and fate of Ken Rosenberg. Developers from Rockstar did not just give Salvatore's lawyer such a name, they specifically selected both the first and last name, reflecting the personality of Ken Rosenberg. This is hard to believe as a coincidence. Thus, Morris Goldberg is actually Ken Rosenberg, only changing his name for privacy. We are provided with absolute evidence that Ken Rosenberg was alive in 2001 when the events of GTA 3 took place. It turns out that after the events in San Andreas, he headed to Liberty City, where all this time he was working for Salvatore, who was later killed by Claude in GTA 3. So now we know where Ken Rosenberg went after GTA San Andreas. One of the mysteries of the GTA world is now solved. Of course, without direct evidence, this theory remains only a guess. However, a lot of indirect evidence leads to the conclusion that the possibility of such a development is quite real. In any case, whoever is behind the images of Maurice and Ken, their actions and achievements never cease to amaze and delight. This concludes my narration. Leave comments on your point of view on this theory, what you agree with and what not. Subscribe to the channel to not miss new videos. See you soon.